graphic chipset processors, let's recite the code of the elves, shall we? Number 1.
Treat every day like Christmas.
Number 2.
There's room for everyone on the nice list.
Number 3.
The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
The best way to spread Christmas cheer is... You all have watched Elf, very nice. It is part of the Christmas tradition in the Wade household. And there is something very true in that funny little, cute little saying, that there is something particularly special and joyful when we sing the great Christmas songs. And that's why we decided to shape our Advent season, or at least the messages leading up to it, these 4 weeks leading up to Christmas. We decided to shape the messages around some of the best lyrics of the best songs in this series we're calling Heaven and Nature Sing. So it's no real surprise, I guess, that the great truths of Jesus' birth are oftentimes best expressed in the lyrics to these songs. And last week we looked at the whole idea of the joy of all of our longing hearts, as the line from Charles Wesley's great hymn, Come Thou Long Expected Jesus. There's something in us that longs for Christ to come. 2 weeks from now, we're going to look at Chains Shall He Break and talk about what that means as we look at that line from the great song, O Holy Night. Next week, we're going to have the whole service around Advent music, because that's our choir's cantata, where we will look at the scriptures and the various songs that go with them. So the whole service will end that way next week. But today what we're going to look at is a line from a song that a group of music experts chose as the greatest Christmas carol of all time. In 2011, a group of somebody polled music choir experts and music experts from all around the world and asked them to list their what they thought were the 5 greatest Christmas carols ever written. And so all these different people sent their top 5 in, and they put it together, and the list came back like this. There was a tie for 5th place between O Come All Ye Faithful and Once in Royal David City. In 4th place was Silent Night. In 3rd place was In Dulce Jubilo, which is what we would call Good Christian Men Rejoice. And in 2nd place, Ding Dong Merrily on High. And the consensus number 1 Christmas carol of all time, according to this group of musicians, was actually the song we sang just a moment ago, In the Bleak Midwinter. It's based off of Christina Rossetti's classic and very famous poem of the same name, written back in the 19th century. And then music was put to it about 20 or 30 years later. And it hasn't been a commercial hit like some of the other Christmas songs we know, but it is undoubtedly maybe the most beautiful texts ever written for Christmas, and the melody along with it is gorgeous as well. And at the heart of that piece, that which the whole hymn actually builds, is the final stanza, where it says, "What can I give him, poor as I am? If I was a shepherd, I would give a lamb. And if I was a wise man, I would do my part. Yet what I can, I give him. Give him my heart." And this idea that's reflected in this hymn, this idea of bringing a gift, especially a gift to the infant Jesus, this is found in all kinds of popular Christmas stories and songs. And this whole idea of gift giving is right at the heart of how we do Christmas here in contemporary America. This idea that gifts and gift giving is the center of Christmas is just part of who we are. And of course, that goes back to the original story as told in the Bible. Because if you're going to talk about gifts, and if we're going to talk particularly about what gift can I give him, well, it seems to me you've got to go back to the source where all this started, and that's found in the book of Matthew, the 2nd chapter, the first 12 verses. Listen to the story of the first gifts brought to Jesus. It reads like this. In the time of King Herod, After Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem asking, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star at its rising and have come to pay him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. And calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet, 'And you, Bethlehem in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel.'" Then Herod secretly called for the wise men and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word so that I may go and pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out, and there ahead of them went the star they had seen at its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. And on entering the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road. And this is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. My guess is you've heard this story before. Near the time of Jesus, a star rises and becomes visible to a group of astronomers, wealthy, learned men in what is likely modern-day Iraq or Iran. And as the star rises, they interpret its meaning, and they interpret its meaning correctly, that there has been a new king born to the Jews. And so even though these guys aren't Jews themselves, they load up the camels and they take the long and dangerous trip all the way to Judea so that they might pay their respects to this new king. This is no normal trip, and these are no normal gifts that they bring. In fact, the gifts are really pretty odd. Now, the first one makes sense. It's gold, and gold is appropriate as a gift at any time for any person, I think. And it is particularly always an appropriate gift for royalty. That would have been expected. So the gold makes actual sense as a gift. But the other two are a little different. Frankincense is a bit more unusual for a gift for a king, particularly an infant king. For a while, frankincense has been a valuable form of trade. The incense from frankincense has been traded in that part of the world for thousands of years. That is common. But for Jews, it has a particularly odd use. For Jews, the prime use of incense was in the temple, where they used it as part of the offerings made to God. So a gift of frankincense made to a Jew, well, the only thing they used that for was an offering to God. That's a very strange gift to give a person, particularly a baby. And if frankincense is a little bit odd, myrrh is even more so. Like frankincense, myrrh has long been traded, and it's a valuable incense used during this time. And it was also, like frankincense, used in various Jewish rites. But it had a particular use in Jewish culture of Jesus' time that is different. Because the main use for myrrh in Jesus' time was as the spice, as the ointment used in the preparation of a body for burial. A very odd gift to give to an infant king. So the gifts of the wise men aren't so much practical gifts, they're symbolic gifts. In the gift of gold, we see Jesus as a king. In the gift of frankincense, we see Jesus is God. And in the gift of myrrh, we see that Jesus, even as an infant, came to die. So while these are very odd gifts to give to a baby, they are in their own way entirely appropriate for who he was. And these gifts and this scripture we read have become the launching pad for countless other gifts given. And they've been the launching pad for generation after generation asking the same question. If I would have been there, what gift might I have given him? It's been reflected in every culture. You see it in all kinds of songs, right? Because the little drummer boy brought what? He brought his drum because that's what he could offer Jesus. The friendly beasts, right? That song, the sheep gave the wool. The birds sing for him, I think. The cow gives the hay. In all these cultures, there's these same versions of different stories of different people and different creatures bringing to Jesus appropriate gifts. Because the idea is, surely, because of who Jesus is and what he means, surely we are to pay him homage like the wise men. Surely we are to offer him gifts appropriate to who he is. Surely there's something we can give him to show him how much we appreciate what he's done, how much we love him. Surely there's something we can give him that pleases him. So the question is, what can I give him? Well, that's a good question, isn't it? I mean, you tell me what it is. What is it that we can give Jesus? People have given all kinds of extravagant gifts to Jesus through the centuries. The last church I served in, which was a beautiful, amazing structure for those of you who have seen it, it was given as a gift, entirely paid for by one family back in 1924. It cost over $1 million back in that time. It'd be like a $20 million gift today. And I know of other churches and other universities and other whatevers that have received gifts much, much larger than that through the years as their response to give to Jesus. People have offered their money, they've offered their talents, they've offered their influence, they've even offered their bodies, their whole lives as a gift to Jesus. And the question is, are any of these gifts enough? No. No, none of them are. Are these gifts even appropriate? Not really. Because Jesus has plenty of money. It doesn't need that. Jesus doesn't really need our talents or our influence. He's got all that covered as well. He doesn't really need our body or our life because he gave us our life and our body, and if he wanted to, he can make more there's more where we came from. He can make more. So the truth is, there really is nothing that we can give to Jesus that seems appropriate. There is nothing we can give to impress him or to influence him. Whether we be rich or poor, whether we be righteous or unrighteous, whether we have it all together or whether it is all falling apart at the seams, the truth is there is absolutely nothing we have to offer Jesus that he needs. Whether it be symbolic, like the gifts of the wise men, or whether they be something more practical, the truth is, no matter what the gift is, at root, all of our gifts, of all through the centuries, are all woefully inadequate. And the reason this is so is that the whole thing is actually backwards. We don't have any appropriate gift to give to him because he is the gift given to us. There is no appropriate gift to offer to him. He is the gift offered to us. He needs nothing we have to offer. And since he needs nothing at all, the appropriate question to ask is not what do you need, but Jesus, what is it you want? What is it Jesus wants from us? Does he want my wealth? Nah, not really. Does he want my talent? What would he do with it? Does he want my influence? Does he want my body? Does he want my life? No, no, no. Now, all of those things are great in their own way, and it's good to offer our whole self and give ourselves and put everything at God's disposal. That, of course, is right. But it doesn't get to the heart of it. Because to get to the heart of it, you have to ask the question, what is it that Jesus came for in the first place? What is it that Jesus really wants? And the answer is this. Jesus wants you. Jesus wants me. He wants our love. He wants all of us, heart and soul. Theologian Peter Kreeft, he said the greatest compliment a lover can give to their beloved is their undivided heart. For when a lover gives their beloved their heart undivided, what they are saying to their lover is this: I love you with my whole heart, with my whole soul. My love is not divided between you and anyone else. You have no rival. That's what every lover wants their beloved to say to them. There is no competition for your heart. You have no rivals. This is what Jesus wants from us. He wants our undivided, unrivaled love. Jesus wants our hearts. Miss Rossetti had it exactly right. What can I give him? Poor as I am. If I were a shepherd, I would give a lamb. If I were a wise man, I would do my part. Yet what I can, I give him. Give him my